Let me tell you how the whole room froze. Right at the moment William Thompson III, one of Manhattan's biggest, loudest, richest sharks, decided to turn a human being into a joke. Picture this: glass shattering all over a marble ballroom floor, 200 people, the whole city's elite, and a black woman on her knees, collecting crystal shards while everyone watched. And William, grinning like he owned the world, raises his glass and spits out this line: "If you dance this waltz, I'll marry my son to you." Laughter rolled through the hall, sharp as broken glass. You know the type: people who've never been laughed at in their lives, so they think they can get away with anything. Yeah, that happened. Her name was Kesha Williams. She'd only been cleaning these events for 3 weeks, just long enough to know no one ever looked at her. William's son, Jonathan, tried to get his father to shut up. He even whispered, "Dad, you're being ridiculous." But William was so far gone on whiskey and his own ego, he just kept going. "No, let's see if she can even move to the beat," he called out, like this was his own private circus. And while Kesha picked up glass, her hands were trembling, but her eyes were, how do I even describe it? Not scared, not humiliated, just this deep, eerie calm, like she was seeing through everyone in the room. Then she stood up. You could have heard a pin drop. And she looked right at him, at all of us, really, and she said, "I accept." Nobody laughed anymore. William blinked, almost lost his swagger for a second. "What did you say?" "I accept your challenge," she repeated, and there was this subtle smile, like she knew something we didn't. And she added, "But when I dance better than your wife, you'll keep your word." Even if it was just a joke. Some of the crowd started snickering, thinking this was just a new level of humiliation. But if they'd looked closer, they might have recognized that look in her eyes. It was the look of someone who'd had it all, lost it, and learned how to fight for dignity in a world that laughs at the wrong people. Victoria Thompson, the wife, she taught ballroom to the Upper East Side crowd, smug as a cat. She waltzed forward, practically spitting. "Do you really think I need to compete with this?" She looked Kesha up and down like she was gum on her shoe. William, loving every second, was like, "Come on, honey, you won that trophy last year. Show us how it's done." But Kesha, she just stared, silent. And I swear, you could almost see the years roll behind her eyes. Years ago, she was Kesha Morrow, principal dancer with the American National Ballet. Ovations, reviews comparing her to the greats, until one night, a car accident took it all. Coma, surgeries, doctors telling her she'd be lucky to walk, forget about dancing. But William wasn't letting go. "Jonathan, go get your camera. I want to record this. The day a cleaning lady thought she could outdance my wife." His son looked sick, tried to protest, but William cut him down, threatened him, even, about telling his girlfriend some secret. It was always control with him. And then it just turned. Bets were made, people laughing. $500 on Victoria, $1,000 if the cleaning lady wins. Victoria did her stretches, putting on a little show, and William leaned into Kesha. "When you lose, I want you on your knees apologizing. And then you're fired." But Kesha, she didn't flinch. She just locked eyes with him and said, "When I win, I want you to keep your word. And one more thing. I want you to admit you judged me for my skin and my job. I want a public apology." That was the moment the air shifted. Some guests started to realize this was getting out of hand, but William just laughed. "You've got guts. Fine. But when you fail, you'll leave here with nothing." No one saw it yet, but Kesha wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for anyone who'd ever been dismissed, ignored, stepped over. And then, out of nowhere, a security guard, Marcus, sidled up beside her. He whispered that he'd recognized her from the National Theater before her accident and that he thought she was gone for good. Kesha, for the first time that night, actually smiled. She asked him for a favor: record everything that follows, especially the reactions. Marcus agreed, still not sure what she had planned. She said, "Some people need to be reminded that underestimating someone is the most expensive mistake they'll ever make." William, meanwhile, kept turning the screws. If she finishes the dance, she gets $1,000. But if she fails, she cleans the whole room, on her knees. Jonathan tried to protest, got shut down again. William's voice just filled the room. There's a natural order, and people like her need to know their place. Kesha started to stretch, subtle, nothing flashy. Only Marcus recognized what she was doing. Old dancers' warm-ups. Victoria went first, the DJ putting on a waltz, and she did fine. Not great, but fine. She got her polite applause, because in that room, money could buy applause. Then it was Kesha's turn. She walked to the center, every step deliberate, every muscle under control. She asked for the same song, but from the beginning. William sneered. Oh, she wants a second chance, how sweet. No one in that room knew. This was her song, one she'd danced hundreds of times, one she'd once received a 5-minute standing ovation for at the National Theater. As the music began, she closed her eyes and you could see her fall back into herself. 15 years ago, the last night she truly lived, and then she danced, not the way a cleaning lady is supposed to dance, not the way the crowd expected. She moved like the laws of gravity barely applied, like she was pulling the music through her bones. The musicians, even the bored, rich ones, realized what was happening first. She moved through pirouettes, jumps, and then a sequence so beautiful, so impossible, that the whole room just stared, spellbound. That William's face went white, then confused, then outright panicked. Victoria just looked stunned. And then someone gasped, "Wait, I know those moves. That's Kesha Morrow." Marcus, still recording, announced it for everyone. "Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Kesha Morrow, former principal soloist with the American National Ballet." That name hit the room like a thunderclap. Gasps, shouts, sudden bursts of applause. Some folks in the back even started to cry. William stammered, "This is blackmail." Kesha was ready. "No, this is accountability. You made a bet. 200 witnesses. You can choose. Keep your word or show everyone what your word's really worth." Jonathan stepped forward. "If you'll have me, I'd be honored to take you to dinner. Not because of the bet, but because you're the bravest person I've ever seen." William lost it, yelling, threatening to cut off his son, but Jonathan just said, "Some things matter more than money. Like integrity." Kesha, taking her time, looked from Jonathan to the audience, to William, who looked like he was finally understanding what it felt like to be powerless. "Your son learned what you never could," she said. "True nobility comes from how you treat people when you think no one's watching. As for marriage, how about dinner? That's something two people decide together, not because of a bet." The applause was deafening this time. William slunk out, followed by Victoria, his empire cracking beneath him. And Marcus turned to Kesha. "This is going to go viral." You know what? He was right. The video swept social media. "Millionaire humiliates legendary ballerina." Trending, millions of views, angry comments, contracts lost overnight. Jonathan, now in charge of the business, called his father in to resign. William tried to blame everyone but himself. Jonathan just looked at him, calm, steady. "You betrayed yourself the moment you valued arrogance over humanity." Kesha, meanwhile, was flooded with offers. Dance companies, producers, even her old students pooled $23 to offer her a scholarship to teach again. She accepted, on one condition: make it bigger. 6 months later, the Kesha Morrow Center for the Arts opened, teaching kids from every background. Jonathan donated the first check. William lost it all: company, reputation, family. Victoria divorced him. He faded into obscurity, a nobody.